Presented by Botano, Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill back in the mix once again. Leafs Morning Take has turned into sort of Leafs Summer Take at the Leafs Nation 401, where you can subscribe to our YouTube page. We're also available wherever you can find your podcast. Just search Leafs Morning Take. While you're at it, make sure to check out the great content today's guest has been pumping out for Action Park Media, from No Gruffs Given and Quick Shift, among other things. It's former NHLer turned podcaster, model, actor, author, Sean Avery. Did I miss anything?
I mean, I think it's time to retire the model moniker, but other than that, yeah, you got it.
Thanks for doing this. You got to give us the lay of the land of where you're at right now, because I think it's unbelievable.
So, yeah, right now I'm sitting inside an RV, which is parked on the front lawn of a house in Van Nuys, California. And I'm in the middle of jiu-jitsu training. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we train with the Killers. There's a bunch of Brazilian black belts in the garage right now. I just got my blue belt, so now they can wrist lock me and do different things that really fucking hurt. And yeah, I'm just grinding, bro. I'm just grinding. I could make the Leafs, what's the date today?
July 20th.
20th.
I'm probably in the best shape of my life. If I took my gi off right now, I would give that dressing room a run for the money. Could I get my timing in 5 weeks to be ready for training camp? No, but if they knew that I was on the team and it was like, okay, he needs 8 weeks, then I would be ready. And I would be much more effective than Ryan Reaves.
You don't have trouble training after the fact, eh? I went hard when I was playing, and I cannot get my heartbeat over 130. Sounds like jiu-jitsu is the way to get into it, or what?
Yeah, that'll change your life. It'll change your life. It's so much fun. It's so hard. Oh my God, it's so nasty.
And you could take Revo would be an easy go for you right now.
I mean, off skates, he's a dead man.
I believe it.
He's a dead man. It's like these boxers. It's like, we're talking about Nate Diaz, right? He's fighting Jake Paul this weekend. So it's true. If you lock Nate Diaz and Tyson Fury up into a room, Nate Diaz is coming out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a fact. Now that I see the levels of this sport, yeah, like but it's so interesting. Tua Tagliavua, they had him doing jiu-jitsu this summer so that he could learn how to take a hit, right? And because this whole thing's about rolling. Once you're with the big dogs, like, they can roll out of anything, any contact. So it's very interesting. I wish I had started training earlier. Man, I would have been a better player. I would have been a way better player.
Well, you think about boxing and hockey players, it's kind of one-dimensional, but that MMA stuff, man, when you got all those different disciplines down, there's no position you could put that human being in where he's not trained to get out of, and you're fucked if you're not trained in it like they are.
Oh, yeah.
I was always terrified of, like, not that I got in bar fights ever, but messing with the wrong guy at the bar, like maybe a featherweight guy or just some MMA guy, or like I always watch for like cauliflower ears, like just don't let any of my boys get fucked up with one of those guys.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends that would look at Alex Volkanovski in the bar and be like, maybe he's going to give me a go, but I'm still going to take him. And you'd be you're dead. You're asleep. You're asleep. He doesn't even have to hurt you. These types of guys, they just put you to sleep, which is so much fun. But anyways, you guys want to talk about the Leafs?
Yeah, I want to get into that for sure. There's some other stuff too, but we'll get to the Leafs since you're on it. You mentioned Ryan Reaves. You're not a big fan of that signing. Like, what have you made of their offseason thus far?
I mean, we're in the same spot that we were with the Rangers when they signed Ryan Reaves. It's like, this is going to be great. It's going to be great until you hit the 50-game mark, and then you can't play them. Like, go find me a bottom six that are all on minimum contracts, that all they want to do is dump the puck in, chase, forecheck, change, kill the clock, and wear down the other team's D so that, Matthews and Mitch and Willie can do their thing. Then you might have a chance to win with that lineup. But outside of that, you're cooked. You guys watched that final. You guys watched that final. Florida was out of gas because they had to run the gamut with, three great teams, maybe the best teams outside of Vegas. If you don't have dogs that can just skate and are hungry and know their role, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
You think the league's gotten away from that? I mean, I've noticed in a lot in the last 10 years or so. I mean, you used to have those different dimensions of lines, like you say, that energy line. And yeah, they've gotten away from the meathead heavyweights that are one-dimensional. I get that. But guys that can skate, guys that can get it deep, guys that can bang and crash and crush on their D-man, get in the goalie's face, get the hell off the ice and just change that momentum around. I think they've gotten away from that. Would you say they've just forgotten about that and just gone with as much skill as they can through the lineup and it's just catching up to them now?
So, the two guys that I like to still talk hockey with the most are Brendan Shanahan. I like to talk to Shanny, just about the league, not about his team, because I don't, Shanny has been in my life for a long time and he knows what I feel, he knows what I think. So let's talk about the league. Those guys both tell me those types of players are very hard to find now.
Wow.
Which is like, and I go, where's Alex Burrows? Where's like the next Alex Burrows or Rafi Torres or me,
You or Steve Ott or any of those guys.
Otter. Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
And these guys say, man, trust me, we're looking. These guys it's hard to find. So maybe that's true.
That's the generation today.
I still think there's, the Leafs, like the kid they took in the first round. I'll just watch a couple of the interviews. And who was his favorite player? Do you guys remember who his favorite player was? Kachuk. Growing up. I think he said that.
Yeah.
Great.
Good.
That's good enough for me. I'll take that. Right? Because I don't hear anyone else saying anything other than, Sid or who's the other Nova Scotia kid? Colorado. McKinnon.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I wanted to pump your tires a bit because I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but after the first round, so the Leafs finally won a playoff series for the first time. What was it, 19 years? You came out right away and said they're going to get dummied by the Florida Panthers, right?
Yeah.
And you were correct. Why did you feel that way at the time?
Because I was watching Florida play, and they were just like this, Bobrovsky. Those guys just started to heat up, man, in that first round. Like they just started to get their legs under them, and then they win that, and then I just knew. And I knew the Leafs, when you have Justin Hall and who's the other guy that they put out there on the penalty kill with? Yeah. They put out there, they're looking for me. They're like, I'm hiding. Who was the other guy that killed penalties with him? The two of them. You're not going to win with that D, guys. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
the choir there.
You guys know, but your peers in the media, I don't know. Are they fans too much to, you know what I mean? Like, because part of the reason I think that Toronto gets away with it is Mitch Marner's probably having a great summer at the golf course. Can't go anywhere. Can't go to Mr. Sub. Can't go to Tim Hortons. Everyone knows him. He's Mitch. Guys, if you play like this in New York and you're on fucking 6th Avenue and 19th Street and there's a diehard blue shirt that this guy pays his money and he didn't like your game, you hear it. You got to face the music.
I'm happy you brought that up because, like, I said this at the end when they lost. I'm like, there's this general acceptance in this market. It happens for every sport. Going through it right now with the Jays, the Raptors to an extent. There's just an acceptance like, okay, next year we'll do it. You know what I mean? Every time they lose, they bang their heads against the wall. We're going to do it next year. You're right. There's no accountability in this market.
No. And that hurts the team.
Yeah.
And I know that everybody loves their team and they should. But that's okay to be upset, and want to hold your team accountable, especially with the money we're talking about. The money. What's going on. You guys know what's going on in Canada right now. People are fucking it's hard times out there. You get a guy that's making 13 sheets a year and he disappears at the one thing that you need him to do. Come on.
Well, we take heat for calling it like it is sometimes. And, you know, when I played there, the problem with the media is they just wanted to just nail you. Like the internet was getting big and everyone wanted to write a scathing review. And, oh, how do I get eyes on my shit? Oh, let me just rip this guy apart, rip that guy apart. And it was like no one wanted to come here. And whether that's changed or not, now it seems like everyone's scared to say anything because you might hurt someone's feelings. And these guys are just like, well, fuck, we're never going to get ripped on. So it's like, oh, well, I want to be back in Toronto. Well, I want to be back in Toronto. It's like you just lost 3 fucking years in a row unacceptably. And now you're talking about, well, I'll be back. I'll be back. Like, what about, like, do I deserve to be back? That there's none of that to go around.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that's very interesting because Toronto was a toxic environment for a long time. And maybe that was because Berkey was a little bit ornery and there was some, you know, tension and sandpaper. But complete flip, and maybe it's just a mirror of the times, you know. Participation medals are cool now, you know.
Fuck,
you can do whatever you want, right? But now it's that's a good point. Very interesting. Because like fucking Sundin, they rode Sundin's ass for years.
Yeah
Right,
and he was like, what he was.
And that guy's done a hell of a lot more for the organization than anyone on the current Leafs roster.
So does it go without saying that you think the core 4 there's too much money in that basket? See ya, break that up.
Yeah, and you know what I would have done? I would have packaged them for like the 2nd and 5th pick. I would have hedged my bets because this Bedard's a weirdo. This kid's a weird kid, and I don't know if it's going to translate. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess his shot is just so, like, there's some tools that are just so advanced. His size concerns me, and I think he's a weird kid. And not like Paul Correa weird. Like a little different, you know?
He doesn't like to skate. I watched him play in Calgary, and he fucking floated everywhere. Really? He had 3 points, but I'm like, I don't know if you can do that in the show, kid. Like, he literally didn't break stride. It was incredible.
Well, that's interesting. And that, right. You know, Braden Point doesn't stop his feet moving ever.
No.
You know? So, but I would have moved them. I would have moved them as quick as I could. And tried to hedge my bets and just really started the rebuild. Because what are you plugging holes with right now? And where are their draft picks? Where are their draft picks?
Dubas sent them down the road.
Like that Robertson kid. I mean, he wasn't really that good. I don't know, but that was like their big gun, right? Their big pick.
Yeah.
Are there any others?
Matthew Nyes, you catch him coming in first couple games, playoffs. He stood out pretty good. He's more of a power forward than a dipsy doodle bullshit player. So I got high hopes for him. He's got a head on his shoulders too.
Good. Well, that's good. Yeah. Who else did they sign? I don't even remember.
Max Domi, Tyler Bertuzzi.
Oh,
Klingberg.
Okay, here we go. Now we'll say, okay, good. Okay, fine. You got Max on a small number. You gave Bert something that's very manageable. The guy doesn't use any tape on his knob. Didn't get vaccinated. I'll take him. I'll take him on my team. Okay. So that's good. Those are 2 great signings. Who else?
John Klingberg.
Did they give him a lot of money?
What was it? 4.5, I think. 1-year deal, 4.5.
Okay, fine. 1-year deal. That's fine.
But it's clear like they're changing the look of the team, because I'm with you, and Rosie and I are in agree it's way too much on this team. We thought they were so fucking soft. And so like the mentality has changed at the very least going into next year. And I don't know if you'd agree. Like, I think they look more like a Florida Panthers team who sort of sacrificed the regular season to be harder to play against in the playoffs, right?
Well, yes, they're starting to build that archetype a little bit, you know. You go into camp, you got a little bit more juice. Okay. Just with Max and Bertuzzi. Mark my words, the Revo thing is going to turn into a sideshow. It's going to turn into a sideshow, and it's just a thing that we don't really need.
Do you think that's going to be a mess because of the sideshow that it could be with that role? Or do you not think that he's had enough time in this league and he's been able to stay in it the way he has because he does get what to do and when to do it?
I think he turns it into a little bit of a too much of him show, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know, the old school guys like the Colt Norse, you know. You
Yeah.
played with Orzy?
Oh yeah.
Rosie? Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
I don't know. Those guys were scary, you know, and you knew that they were like the Reeves show. It's just too much. It's just too much. Just come into camp, bang fucking bodies, beat some people up, and don't do like, we don't need to see you become like a legend that way, you know? I don't know.
Well, do you notice how there's a lot of guys in the league doing the WE belt and chirping off, and they didn't do that 8 years ago
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
because there was other guys in the league
right.
that would prevent that. I get
you know,
that.
you can look at the schedule and see like, this is going to be an easy 6, the next 6, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. A couple more and I'll let you go. I wanted to ask you, I'm looking forward as we record this. I'm not sure we're going to put this out, but I'm looking forward to watching Oppenheimer. What was that experience like, man? That's amazing.
Oh, dude, it's wild. I mean, fuck me, the movie's good. Yeah, it's my second Nolan crack at it with Nolan. The second time was even better, you know. It's like a masterclass in filmmaking. Not only filmmaking, but like just being able to watch the best in the world do something in their specific category. I mean, take that wherever you want, you know. The movie's incredible. I'll tell you, go see the movie because whatever. I'm in it, and I got a couple of fun scenes. Go see the movie because, you know, you guys are in Canada, right? I'm in the US. We're North America. Tough couple of years. When these people get on television and these pundits and these newscasters and these politicians and they talk about the next nuclear war, like, watch this movie and think about the weight that word has, because holy shit, man. And that was 70 years ago. It's an important movie for us all to watch right now. Just, go watch Barbie, have fun. That's great. I can't believe Ryan Gosling. Whatever. I hope it's good, but Oppenheimer's like a movie that everyone needs to see. Like, you know, everyone needs to see this because, man, what are we fighting about? What is this? What is this nonsense? Why are we trying to hurt people, our people in our countries? You know, prosper. Let's make money. Let's win some games. Let's fucking do it the right way. So yeah, it was an incredible experience. I can't wait. You know, I can't wait to see it on IMAX. You guys have an IMAX there, right? Downtown there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And over at the CNE, does the CNE have an IMAX screen too?
No, I live right near there. We don't, but there's a bunch of different ones now. Like I want to watch it in its full glory. Like this is one I'm pumped for, you know, fuck Barbie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool,
and our mutual Kevin Conley told me I was going to love you, and he wasn't wrong. How'd you guys get involved together? You being pretty much a Ranger. He's a fucking Islanders fan, which is the worst, but Action Park Media, tell us about what you're doing these days.
Yeah, we got this new podcast, Quick Shift. I did my own podcast for a while, but I really just got sick of, like, for 2 years calling out bullshit that only a few other people were calling out. It's just too much. Like, so it was fun. We said, you know what, let's start a hockey podcast. I think I'm going to start doing something like Chael Sonnen does. Just these quick hits, you know, that like 6-7 minute, like I would love to, there's everything. Every day there's one thing to talk about, you know? So we have a good time over there. Kevin is, you know how I met Kevin Connolly? I was screaming at Garth Snow in the hallway at an exhibition game in Nassau Coliseum. I was pissed off about something, and he was with Kevin. And when I noticed Kevin, I was like, hey, I said to Garth, you can introduce me to fucking Kevin. And that kind of, whatever. It's just one of those, yeah.
Just one of those run-ins, eh?
Yeah.
Incredible, man. And we're so thankful of you taking some time. Congratulations on all the new stuff and looking forward to watching Oppenheimer. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day today.
Thanks, fellas.